Hi everyone. This week's assignment is over safety, and the first question is, using the information from the provided resources, why is internet safety so important, and what is your role as an educator in teaching internet safety to your students? And um, I would just like to say I'm working at the middle school right now, and I know that the librarian actually does a couple lessons over internet safety. And so just recently, I think we've done about two or three lessons. And um, so I've gotten to see how she does that, and she does use um, the NC or what was that called? The Net Smarts for the teens, and she's done that with the students, and so I've been I'm kind of more aware of what that is, and I was kind of happy to see that the it's talked about in this assignment, and I think it'd be a great source to use for class, and it could be something that we could do in the library to have more of a quiet place to be outside of the classroom. And the way she does it, she provides the slideshow and she's talking about what's going on and telling the kids that, doing these kinds of things can bring risks to you because you're setting yourself and giving up all that information online. And so that's something that I think we need to be able to teach our students, because sometimes they are online and they don't know the risk of being online and not protecting their identities, or being able to say no to certain things, or afraid to say no. We need to make sure we are able to let them know that there's nothing wrong with denying a request. And if they do need help, that we're here to help them with any questions that they have. And the second part to that is specifically describe how you can teach internet safety in your future classroom. So maybe before we start using like the computers or the iPads or whatever device is provided, we can cover a little bit of that, how to search the internet safely and how to handle certain situations if they come upon. But I know that with many of the school devices, some of that information is already blocked. And so there wouldn't be as much risk in school, I would say, than there is them outside of the school setting. So, like in a public library or any public Wi-Fi connections that they're connected to, or even at home, because they are not aware of what websites can be bad or which websites are not allowed for them to be on. And so having a discussion about that before we get to use the devices, and then maybe after they've gotten to get used to the devices, we can cover a little bit more of um, how they can handle to be safe on these devices. The second question is, what were your thoughts after exploring the NetSmart website and completing the Teaching Digital Citizen Training Program? And so I really like the website because it provides you provides you with different options to use. So they have the younger children, and then they have the elementary children, and then they have high school children, and you can use them, and they're set for their appropriate age levels. And so that was nice that they provided that for us. And then as I was completing the Teaching Digital Citizen, I went through all of the different modules that it had. And then as soon as I completed it, I tried to click on to take the survey, but that didn't work. And so I'm not sure if it's something on this side or if it's something on my side. Um, I completed it, I just didn't get my certificate. I think it is a great program for educators to use because sometimes we, okay, yeah, we know certain websites are bad, and some of that stuff that it talks about is something that we can talk about in class as well, and not just be like, okay, kids, you know that these certain websites are not good to be on, but giving them more details and examples like this, like the video that it provided, like it had examples in the modules about certain things. And so I think that would be something we can try to incorporate into our teaching, and that would be something very useful we can use. The third question is to reflect on the main points described in the youth safety article by those three authors and describe what useful information you were able to take away from the article. So I was kind of shocked to see that the article mentioned that there was no specific um, data or information on certain topics. It said that they've conducted research, but it depends on how it is conducted. Because there was one that talked about there can be victims of cyberbullying that can be as high as 72% or as low as 4%, and then other studies report different figures between 6% to 30%. So I was kind of shocked to learn that there wasn't like a specific number on that. Um, let's see what else. And then I like that it provided definitions of some of the words like cyberbullying and strategies that can be used in the classroom. And then there's something else that I really thought was useful and hopeful was that they conducted a survey in where 32 schools across 12 states found that if schools work to build clear definitions of respectful behavior with meaningful student involvement, most students will uphold and follow these behavioral standards. So if we set the example and we talk about it with our children and our students, then they will remember and will likely remember to know, these are the things we can do online, these are the things that we can't do online, and keep that mindset with them. And I think that's something very important for us to make sure that we talk to the students about this and make them understand that there are plenty of risks of them going online and not taking safety precautions. And I think that if we are able to help them understand how that can impact their lives, then will probably make a big difference in their lives. And so I think it's important for us to be able to um, talk and discuss with the students about safety on the internet or online. That way, if they have questions, they can ask us and we can discuss as a whole class, or if they have more questions, they can come in and talk to us individually. We just need to make sure that they are aware of the risks and what can happen and how we can help them to make sure that they are safe online.